people use terminologies that they want. You do the analysis, decreasing crime. Last year we put more affordable housing, transitional housing, history of the city, more jobs in the history of the city.
Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, spoke about the controversy surrounding Mayor Tiffany in an unexpected turn of events. He underlined the need for integrity in public office while tactfully pointing out the shortcomings without directly interfering with the affairs of another municipality, the administration of Mayor Tiffany. The national dimension that Adams' comments have given the scandal has increased awareness of Dalton's predicament.
Trustee, Mayor Pro Tem here for the Village of Dalton. Together with my colleagues on the board, we have been steadfast in our efforts to stop the gross mismanagement and abuse of power that people have seen in the village today. So having said that, we've got many things that have been credibly reported in the news that it's just time to stop. As my brother Kevin Bowen says, we have to change the narrative around Dalton, and that begins today. We've seen all kinds of spending, countless spending on Vegas trips, first-class flights, luxury hotels, and fine dining, all on the taxpayers. We've also seen $1 million a year of security following around one individual instead of being on the streets where they belong. Meanwhile, we have pensions going unfunded, bills going unpaid. The lawsuits come in one after another. Legal fees are skyrocketing, and year after year, we got multi-million-dollar deficits that we have to face and cure.
One of the most devastating accusations made against Mayor Tiffany is that she has engaged in money laundering. According to insiders in the town administration, she has been involved in plans to divert public funds into her personal accounts or unlawful undertakings. Many Dalton citizens are furious and helpless over this loss of public trust, seeing as their hard-earned tax monies reportedly slip into the coffers of dishonest politicians.
And what's next is going to come with a powerful and decisive vision for what Dalton's future. We're not going to have a vision that's embroiled with subtraction or division. It's going to be one that does inclusion, addition and multiplication. We're going to bring everybody together, compromise, and work with one another. We're going to have a vision that operates with transparency, openness, open the doors to the Village Hall of Dalton. Taxpayers right now can't even walk in their own building. We're going to respect the viewpoints of differing people, and we're going to sit down in a manner that they don't feel threatened. We're going to have a vision that's not based on self-promotion or political ambiguity.
Despite receiving support from her community, Mayor Tiffany Henyard is now confronting serious allegations that could potentially make her the worst mayor in Dalton history. Critics say her administration is not only incompetent, but also extremely dishonest, with many accusing her of converting the mayor's office into a personal thief's paradise where only those who remain faithful to her can prosper. The accusations vary from financial mismanagement to actual criminal conduct.
Damn, bro, she can't even get out of her own way. She can't even get out of her own way. And that's sad. Because she don't have to be in this position. It's like arrogance. It reminds me of Pharaoh. And honestly reminds me of Pharaoh because if you read the story, and in order for God to continue to perform the miracles, and you had Moses and Aaron, and they was up there saying, "Let my people go." This is why the Bible itself says you got to be faithful over little before you become ruler over much. A lot of y'all are praying for success. A lot of y'all are praying for greatness. A lot of y'all praying for a great man. Some of y'all are praying for a phenomenal job. Some of y'all are praying for more money, more power, more opportunity, be able to travel and do all of these things. God can't give it to you if you then call yourself a saint of God because he don't want to give you more than you can handle. He said, be faithful over little before I make you ruler over much. Prove yourself to be faithful over this thing. You could have been phenomenal. You could have been the greatest thing of all time, and you ruined it. You messed it up because you don't know how to control yourself, and you let yourself get drunk.
Federal officials have become aware of the controversy involving Mayor Tiffany. According to sources, the FBI has opened an inquiry into her actions with a particular focus on the claims. As the investigation into allegations of corruption and money laundering deepens, many residents of Dalton are optimistic that justice will be done and that the truth about the mayor's activities has finally surfaced.
The power, you ain't even making no money. You ain't even got no money. The salary that you got, what you think that you getting, we spend that in a month. We spend that in a month. That ain't even no money to us. You let the power go to your head and you ain't even getting a bag from it. That's why the Saints can't grow, because they don't understand that it's rules to the game and you can't skip steps when it comes to what success looks like. You can't sell your soul. He's not going to let you embarrass the word of God. He's not going to let you embarrass the kingdom.
Residents of Toronto have organized and begun to demand accountability from their local government because they are sick of the ongoing scandals. Town meetings have become increasingly contentious as residents publicly. Many locals are taking to social media and local news channels to express their frustrations and tell stories about how the mayor's alleged corruption has badly impacted their lives. This is an attempt to confront the mayor and her supporters.
Sean Paul Reyes, I'm an independent journalist. My company's name is Long Island Audit, Inc. I travel around the country from New York to California and everywhere in between investigating corruption. I have never, ever seen corruption like Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Super mayor, super corrupt. Your police department threatened your police chief, who's not even qualified to be the police chief, can't even pass a simple exam, not even qualified, pulled out his handcuffs to try and intimidate me with unlawful arrest. Another officer threatened to throw me into a cell. There's over 15,000 people here watching you live, Mayor Henyard, and you're being a coward. You won't even look me in the eye. 15,000 people and you're disrespectful. 15,000 people watching here. I've gone to every single state almost, and I've seen the worst of the worst politicians, police officers from Connecticut, everywhere in between. And I've never seen a police department this bad. It needs to be disbanded. You talk about these receipts, where are they? You do these podcasts, but you don't say anything. You don't say anything. I got receipts, you show papers, you shuffle them around, and you don't do anything. Lori Lightfoot's not gonna get you, the FBI's gonna get you, and they're gonna throw you in the federal penitentiary. That day is gonna come. Lori Lightfoot, to everybody here from Dalton and everybody watching, she has no legal authority to do anything. It's a waste of time. She has a waste of time and money. It's gonna cost you at least $30,000, and she has no subpoena power. She's getting paid $400 an hour. $30,000 is 72 hours. She'll be done in 2 weeks. And then what is she gonna find? That this woman that we all know she's corrupt is corrupt?
A few of the Dalton Town Board trustees have started to voice their disapproval of Mayor Tiffany, revealing the quiet that her administration has been enveloped by.
Real-life Parks and Rec situation going on in a small village outside of Chicago thanks to this mayor, Tiffany Henyard. And with George Santos leaving the house, this is the new, funniest, most corrupt politician in the United States of America. I learned about Tiffany today when I read an article about the ordinance she's putting in that states if she loses her re-election to be mayor, the mayor's salary will be decreased from $225,000 to $25,000.
Their testimony has given the accusations more weight and has sparked backlash against the mayor among the public.
With that, I realized I had to learn everything about this woman. And as it turns out, the 90% pay cut doesn't even crack the top 10 of the most corrupt things that this woman has done in a short year that she's been the mayor of Dalton, Illinois. If you're on a highway near Dalton, Illinois, you will see billboards of Tiffany Henyard. These are all billboards that are paid for by taxpayers, and they advertise things such as senior services. Tiffany always puts her face and name in huge letters opposed to the actual thing it's advertising in order to get her name out there. And as I said, this is all paid for by taxpayers. Tiffany recently went to Las Vegas with a few of her friends to attend a conference. While there, she spent all of this money on airfare, hotels, and then money at restaurants like Ruth Chris's. Cafe Hollywood, hot and juicy crawfish. And this was all paid for by the taxpayers because she was there attending a conference. She also spent a fair amount of money at Bubba Gump's shrimp company, and then she brought the hat that she bought there.
You didn't go to Las Vegas? What is that?
Okay.
You don't know if you were in Las Vegas?
Of course I do.
Were you?
It's not paid by them.
Did you fly first class to Las Vegas?
Any other questions?
She's also recorded a music video with taxpayer dollars. It's not even her own song, it's just her singing over it. This is a legit comedy show. I can't wait for the documentary about this. Look at her with the cops.
Tiffany is optimistic that she will be reelected in the upcoming mayoral race in spite of the mounting number of accusations against her. Speeches spoken in public, she has brushed off the charges as politically motivated assaults and promised to carry on advocating for Dalton's home.
And Micah, Lori Lightfoot was the last item on the agenda tonight, and this meeting descended into chaos right after 4 members of the Board of Trustees voted to continue her investigation into Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard by overriding Henyard's veto of her high.
Given the gravity of the claims and the confusion surrounding her confidence, many people have accumulating evidence against her.
Chicagoland's super mayor might be going to a supermax prison very soon. The FBI issued multiple subpoenas in the last week, and now we know that a federal grand jury has been investigating Tiffany Henyard for corruption since November. I do not know what more they need to see. The residents of the town literally had a rally called Take Our Township Back last week. It won't be her first time behind bars, but unlike when she was arrested for vehicle trespass, she is now facing 22 criminal charges, and her own lawyer just dropped out. Now, it was as much as $20 million. This is what happens when people who did not earn their position of authority get access to power. If you didn't know, while she was voted mayor back in 2021, the vast majority of her income and power really comes from her position as township supervisor, where she makes over $220,000 a year. But she only has that huge salary because she inherited it with the position from the predecessor who passed away. Tiffany actually passed an incredibly shady ordinance, so if somebody defeated her in the next election, their salary would only be $25,000. So it's literally not worth it to run against her. You know it's a bad situation when the residents think the best idea is to bring in Lori Lightfoot for $400 an hour. It's so frustrating how slow the wheels of justice turn, but it feels like this story is starting to accelerate, and I hope that Dalton citizens don't have to wait much longer to see her in orange pants.
The mayor is accused of engaging in an intimidation campaign against town employees as well. According to sources, staff personnel who have refused to engage in corrupt practices or who the audacity to challenge her authority. Employees at the town hall now feel as though they have to comply with requests that are unethical or risk losing their jobs as a result of these acts, creating a culture of fear.
24 has been nothing short of electric. As we know, Tiffany loves putting herself on some posters. If there's a poster in Dalton, Illinois, where she's the mayor, she's on it. That included Tiffany Henyard's Happy Martin Luther King Day poster, where she put herself on the poster very big and then put MLK in the bottom, in this little box, these 2 boxes. I guess you would say that was Martin Luther King's dream. Here we can see she wished everybody a happy Valentine's Day. Of course, she was on the photo. On the night of Valentine's Day, she held a party, which was, of course, a party not just for the town, but more specifically for herself. Tiffany Henyard said, no, we're building it. And she then put out a video where she bragged about building it despite being told, no, don't build it.
Hey y'all! It's your mayor, Tiffany A. Henyard, the people's mayor. We here in the village of Dalton and we about to get our skate on. Remember, when all 5 of them trustees said no, look what God did.
Things are looking a little murky for the future of Tiffany as the town has been ordered to release spending records after mayor and her allies accused of lavish purchases. As you can see, the town's already $7 million in debt. She actually started her mayorship at $3.5 million in debt, and she has put it all the way up to 7. Those are some good numbers, Tiffany. At this Valentine's Day party on the skating rink, Tiffany had multiple security guards around her at all times as if she was the president, as you can see here. 1, 2, 3. Tiffany has also fallen under criticism for shutting down local businesses that don't contribute to her campaign. And as you can see here, she is dressed as the gangster Nino Brown from the movie New Jack City. Nino was a gangster in the movie. The New York Post actually picked up all of this absolutely insane behavior that she has really started to really kill.
As the accusations against Mayor Tiffany mount, Dalton finds itself at the center of one of the most divisive mayoral scandals in its history. The town's future is in jeopardy as it remains unclear if the mayor will face justice or be able to carry on. Who will come to power is still up in the air, but one thing is certain. The people of Dalton are sick of being silent. They want accountability, transparency, and most importantly, leadership that prioritizes the welfare of the community before individual interests.
This is a small town of 20,000 people. All of these accusations that she's racking up are causing this town to go into unmanageable debt, and the people are crying out for help. Here are a few of these people. In fact, I believe they're looking at right now a $2 million deficit, which in a big city or a big town might not be that big of a deal, but when you are the village of Dalton in the middle of Illinois, it's a much bigger deal. So she did this at a board meeting. Not only that, now I'm assuming that taxpayer funds were used to pay for all this. So she dressed up as him. Her ensemble included a stuffed toy dog at her side, just as Brown had a real one in the movie. Also, she brought in a DJ. During the meeting, Henyard had the DJ punctuate her political points with musical cues, including Rihanna's hit single, Be Better Have My Money, where she demanded trustees approve a bill for a village ice rink. That is one of 2 ice rink trustees say they never authorized.
A number of scandals have dogged Mayor Tiffany Henyard's administration, accompanied by accusations of wrongdoing, misappropriation of money, and power casting a lasting shadow over her leadership.
Ago, she fired the chief of police because he was investigating all of those credit card receipts and all those claims of her funneling taxpayer dollars into her privately owned cancer awareness charity, which you cannot do. And in one of those investigations that the chief of police was investigating, it stated here in this tweet, and shout out to this person for tweeting this, they said Mayor Tiffany Henyard is one of the most corrupt ever. She actually...
Speaking up has become easier for both people and trustees, presenting a dismal image of the level of government in this otherwise tranquil town.
This is mainly because Tiffany's very controversial use of taxpayer money. For starters, Tiffany has a full security detail that goes everywhere with her in the town. This security detail is estimated to be about $250K a year. In addition to security, Tiffany also uses taxpayer funds to do things like buying billboards with her face and name on it. She also puts her name all over government vehicles and buildings throughout the town, and she even has her own 2024 calendar, and of course she put her own birthday in the calendar. Now, in addition to all of this, Tiffany has also made it extremely hard for anyone to run against her. Currently, she makes around $225K a year. However, if someone were to run against her and win, they would not be getting anywhere close to what Tiffany's making. This is because Tiffany is proposing a 90% cut in her salary, but only if someone who is not her is elected. This would drop the pay from $225K to just $25K. Yet even with that massive pay cut, people still want to run against Tiffany just so they can get.
Critics of Mayor Tiffany's decisions have further cast doubt on her judgment due to the people she chose to important positions in the town administration. Point to her appointment of a police head with a track record of bankruptcies and financial mismanagement, along with other officials implicated in scandals such as sexual assault charges.
Well, he was just indicted on federal bankruptcy fraud charges. Apparently, he's had numerous bankruptcy cases, but apparently in 2017, he was on the wrong end of a lawsuit and settled with the plaintiff for about $55,000. But in 2019 and 2020, he filed petitions in order to stay the settlement, basically saying that he didn't have enough money to pay for it, still owing $43,000 of that settlement. And under oath in bankruptcy court, he underreported his monthly income as well as concealed bank accounts. He also lied about being separated from his wife and that she did not live with him or contribute to his monthly income and mortgage. All of this so that he could understate his income. He's facing a 9-count indictment, including bankruptcy fraud, making false statements, and perjury. And each count carries a maximum of 5 years. And I just want to make it clear to the people in my comments who are making this racist, don't. I will delete your comment and possibly block you. And this is why I usually don't do stories of women in color in a negative light for that exact reason. But part of my platform is uncovering corruption. And this woman is a narcissist. Like, this was literally a poster about an event she held this weekend, giving out free book bags to kids for school. And here we have Tiffany Henyard, big letters across. Every picture has her in it. And my favorite part is, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it, Tiffany Henyard. She gave a quote from herself on the poster.
These have served to reinforce the idea that Dalton's direction is greater concern for self-interest than for the good of the public.
Confused. Then I pulled additional information. Cheryl Strands apparently is a vendor of the city of Dalton, and she has the tow yard contract for the city of Dalton. Again, this is where I'm confused. So I also sent an email to James Farrell, who is the head of communications for the city of Dalton, asking are Dalton city employees listed below involved in the Henyard Cares Foundation board? No response. Moore didn't respond. Carlisle didn't respond. Keith Freeman didn't respond. I did send an email with these questions to the PR staff for Mayor Henyard.
So that's all. Hence that's all of the footage today. Many thanks.